Didn't think I was here already. Wow, that came up quick. This is the Johnsondale Bridge. There are always little brook trout. Well, okay, I haven't been here in many years. It could have changed, but in the past, there have always been little brook trout underneath this bridge here. Getting them to bite on anything, that's been a little tricky. But I've learned a few tricks since the last time I fished for them. The thing is, the question I have to ask myself, do I really want to walk down that trail to fish for those little tiny fish? Or would I rather... Oh look, we got the radio station back for a second. Or do I want to just show you guys this real quick and then keep going until we get to the big trees. I don't know if you can see, but this just made me smile. There's a sandbar down there. Years ago, me and my friend Chuck, who's now dead, we came down here and did a little bit of prospecting, a little bit of fishing. He wasn't into prospecting, but we came down here and did some fishing, and we both walked way out onto that sandbar in order to cast out into the deep section where the fish were holding, and we caught a couple, which is pretty good for this area. Now, many years ago, a girl was attacked by a mountain lion here and almost killed. Luckily, she survived. Put this on wide for now. She came with a group of friends, and it doesn't look like it's that steep of a walk down, but it's a pretty good walk down. And about halfway, she said, "No, guys, I'm good. I'm going to go back to the car." So she went back to the car. About halfway up the trail, she was attacked by a small, malnourished, severely underweight mountain lion. It was still big enough to really hurt her, though. Her friends heard her screaming. They came to check on her. She was... either the sun's not right or the water's too dirty from the runoff, because I don't see those little trout down there. She was being eaten alive by the thing. It had a lock on her head. Her friends heard her screaming. I've got a fear of heights. I forgot about that until I got close to that railing just now and my feet started to tingle. I'm holding this phone with both hands for dear life. That's funny. I'm not afraid of anything, so when something makes me afraid, I have to laugh. Boy, if we got hit with the big earthquake right now, I would be so screwed. Although maybe not. This bridge has lasted some serious earthquakes over its years. I'm not going to walk down there to fish. I'd rather fish one of the places back on the way back where I looked on the way up. I passed up a lot of good spots because I want to get up there to the big trees if I can. Anyways, her friends heard her screaming. They come down to check on her. The mountain lion had her head in its mouth. One of the guys had a small pocket knife. He started stabbing the mountain lion. It didn't seem to faze it, so they had to start hitting it in the head with rocks. Yeah. And consider, you remember, it had her head in its mouth when they're hitting it in the head with rocks. So every time they hit it in the head with the rock, the teeth would sink in a little further or move around, and I can imagine it had to have been excruciating. They did finally daze it enough from hitting it in the head enough times that they were able to get it let loose. When the animal control or the rangers or whoever deals with that came through, this ramp is new. That ramp wasn't there last time I was here. Maybe I will walk down there and fish. Maybe we'll do it on the way back. That's a better time to fish anyway. Okay, finish your story, Jimmy. So they got her free from the mountain lion. They got her in. She lost an eye and had some other permanent damage probably. But she lived, and that was the important thing. But her friends did enough damage to the mountain lion in the process of trying to get it to let go of her that they were able to, it was stunned, and when the authorities came to take care of it, they had to put it down. You know, it's attacked somebody, but it couldn't run away. It didn't go anywhere. It was just already had its head smashed in with a rock, so it couldn't do much of anything. I wonder what this is, because that's the Kern there. So that must be one of these many creeks that let into the Kern. I wonder what the name of that creek is. A lot of things I should know that I don't. How you doing? Hey, how did I never know this was here? Remember I was wondering what that tributary creek was? Well, apparently it's called South Creek, and apparently it's got a hell of a waterfall. Now let's see if we can get a good photo of it without falling on our ass and dying, because that's a hell of a drop. Hey, at least if I die, it'll make good YouTube video. I hope somebody in my family has enough sense to record it. I mean, upload it. Well, there is really no place to get a really good photo of this. I could try walking down that, and it looks like some crazy people have in the past. And I am a crazy people, but I'm not that crazy. Maybe 20 years ago I might have. Either way, it's pretty cool to see such a big waterfall right in my backyard that I never really knew was here. I guess back in the day when I used to come up here, I was just thinking about fishing and prospecting, not so much what was around me. Or maybe the water just wasn't running like this at the time. Either way, that's pretty awesome. Okay, this isn't actually the Trail of 100 Giants, but there are some giants in here. And there's a lot of snow on the side of the road. And this little section is not closed off, so people can still come in here. That's icy hard snow. People still can come in here and kind of look. Now, is this 2 giant sequoias growing together, or one that was split with lightning? I don't know, kind of hard to say. Look how big that thing is. This one too. Just massive. I'd like to find one that was toppled, and then we could give you guys a good idea of what it looks like from the side. Yeah, I think this is one tree that was split by lightning. Whatever it is, it's hella cool. Hella cool. Not hella, hella cool. There's another one at another of my favorite groves called the Balch Parks. That's big enough you could put a huge tent inside of it. We're going to walk over and look at this one and the next one over before we leave. So just to give you guys some sort of perspective, that's all that one tree behind me. Let's walk over here and take a look at this one. I should have brought my tripod. Kind of wished I brought my drone. This probably wouldn't be the best place to have my inaugural flight. I'm holding my arm out as far as I can, and it really doesn't do the scope of these things justice. There's another group walking by. When they stand near one, I'll take a photo. Oh, see you guys again. Keep running into you everywhere. Yeah, somebody was going to use it for firewood probably. How you doing? There's something about all of these giant sequoia forests that there's if you're not at all spiritual, you won't get this, but there's a sense to these places. There's something about them that just feels, I hate to use such a cheesy word, but magical. There's no other way to explain it. You can tell that these are like one of the world's unique places. And I understand why they have to protect them. Although they have taken the protection of the giant sequoias a little too far. They want to they designated hundreds of miles nowhere near the actual sequoias as giant sequoia forests or monument. They took it away from being a forest and made it a monument so that they could ban a lot of different activities. But apparently they're currently reevaluating that. Now, they will always keep the actual sequoias protected, but it would be nice if they would open up the areas around them and even give them a 20-mile buffer, 30-mile buffer, 50 for the fires maybe. But 200 miles around these trees where you can't do anything, that's a little bit government overreach in my opinion. And down here we got a cool little creek. Probably just a seasonal creek from all the snow running off. It's probably not even actually an official creek. Over here, you can kind of see how tall one of these is. Its base starts behind those, but then you can kind of get an idea just how tall and massive these things are. Now, the redwoods are actually taller than these. I think that's what I've heard. Maybe not, but I think the redwoods are actually taller. But no tree on Earth is bigger per volume. These things are not only enormous in height, but they're also pretty enormous in girth. And that's what really makes them kind of famous. I should have brought the stabilizer. I brought it all the way up here with me and I didn't bring it out the one time I needed it. Oh well. Now that there looks like cow poop to me. And I mean, cows aren't that destructive, but it's funny they would allow grazing, but they don't allow people to do anything here. At least most of us have enough sense to carry our crap out or bury it or something. I mean, cow poop's not like that bad. It's not good for the water. That's why you don't want to drink the water, but it's not that bad, but it sucks. Now I'm hoping I can get somebody to stand in front of one of these so I can take a photo from a distance and really give you guys some scale. But if I have to, I'll just grab my tripod and do it myself. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. Stop being lazy, Jimmy. It's too late to use the stabilizer, but it's not too late to use the tripod. Sometimes you just got to go out and do stuff. You know what I mean? I'm so glad I made the trip. I didn't catch any fish, but it was totally worth it just to see all this.